Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is my husband, Bishop Robert Griffin, and joining us is Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There's no other progressive queer religious panel discussion show like this in the whole world. You can support this program by liking and sharing it.
In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We produced the 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride, and we will produce Pride Fed Diversity Pride in August, and Pride Fort Lauderdale next February.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. This straight minister was ordained in queer church and spent life serving the LGBTQ community. Reverend June Norris stands as a pivotal figure in the history of the Metropolitan Community Church, a denomination founded on radical inclusivity. As the first straight person and second woman ordained in MCC, her leadership and unwavering commitment profoundly shaped the church's mission and outreach. After her nephew came out as gay to the divorced Seventh-day Adventist, Norris became a fierce advocate for LGBTQ+ rights. She took her nephew to a new church in Los Angeles, the Metropolitan Community Church, where she experienced God powerfully. She trained to become a pastor, served on staff at MCC-LA, and then pastored churches in North Carolina and Iowa. She preached a message of God's unconditional love for all people, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. Her work extended beyond the pulpit, actively engaging in social justice movements and offering solace during the AIDS crisis. I had the privilege of meeting Reverend Norris, I think, twice at general conferences for MCC. And to me, she was always just like a little sweet motherly lady when you kind of walk up on her, because she was kind of all about yay tall. But just being in her presence, you knew you was in the presence of greatness and goodness, as someone who had championed her cause, not because they were told to, but it was her passion, it was her love, it was her joy to be a part of the Metropolitan Community Churches. And even though she made the historical significance that she did, but it was because of her nephew that she really embraced the queer movement and all that it meant at that time when she came into it. And so not only did she enter MCC or enter the movement at a unique time, but she also witnessed a lot of changes in the denomination over the years also to become even more inclusive, more opening, and also a denomination that challenged the unjust stuff that was happening, especially people with AIDS and access to medical care, people championing being a champion for those who were having housing insecurity. I mean, there's a whole lot that Reverend June Norris advocated for that we may never know about, but what we do know for certain is June Norris was a part of the Metropolitan Community Churches and that she made a difference in a whole lot of people's lives.
Yes, she was, first of all, that her nephew came out and her immediate response was to take him to a church, an affirming church, and there's only one she knew about, was the Metropolitan Community Church in Los Angeles. Which was the founding church, the mother church. And I think she took him to her church on Saturday, because she was Seventh-day Adventist, and then to that church on Sunday. And it's probably good that she did it that way, because then they were both fresh in her mind to compare, and she never left the second one after that. Because she's like, what, this is what it's about, you know, the love, the joy, the solidarity. And so yeah, that it shows you that love is meant to be more important than doctrine or theology. If your theology says don't love your nephew, then your theology is the one that's wrong, not your love. So that her response was just love, and that her faith was like, let's wrap this in faith. Let's go to church and pray about it. Let's be around people who have your experience, and that it changed her life as well. She had already been a bit of a rascal, I guess. She didn't follow the rules all the time. after 47 years of marriage, she's the one that sought the divorce. I don't know why. She was apparently not happy for a lot of that time. But after 47 years, she's like, see ya. And then moved to Los Angeles. And that's when her nephew had already lived there. And I think that may be the reason she moved there is because it's the only relative she knew. Or maybe because he'd moved there for some reason. And so she after 47 years got a divorce and was the one who initiated it, still in those days, a little uncommon. And she'd grown up Baptist. And so she had converted to another denomination already, Seventh-day Adventist. So she'd left a church, she'd left a marriage, she'd left a home to try out a new place. And then all of that to become the second woman and first straight person to be ordained in Metropolitan Community Churches. And in those days, straight people who got involved, who became deacons or pastors or board members was so important. Because remember, a lot of people, even still, but certainly in those days, had been completely rejected by churches, by families. And these women like Reverend Norris became, or dads too, moms, dads, men too, became surrogate parents to people. I remember my own mother, who was pretty slow to putting it all together and getting on the right side of things. But she would like come visit me, and, and she'd go to church with me or whatever. And I remember in Dallas, some guy about 10, 15 years older than me, just crying. It was one of the things that kind of started changing her mind. He said, my mother would never come see me. She would certainly never come to church, and just his mother had nothing to do with him. And that my mother was there. He just started crying. And and my mother said, well, I've never really understood or agreed, but it never occurred to me that I wouldn't want to see you at Christmas or that I wouldn't want to visit you, whatever. And so that was one of the turning points for her. Another point was visiting this church 20-something years ago, where she said, about 20 years ago, where she said she had never experienced more love in a church, in a gathering of people before. Been in church her whole life, raised me in church. And she said that there was something so discernibly different. And then she invited herself to our wedding. I didn't think she'd come. I didn't even bother to tell her about it. And she came. And I told her about it, but I didn't specifically invite her. Couldn't miss this. She'd been to all of her children's weddings. So why not this one? Mine lasted. And so but no, it's just how wonderful it was and how beautiful people were. And so yeah, when people experience you versus what they've been told to judge you for, it can make a difference. And so Reverend Junior Norris was one of those people there. I am the straight lady who chose you. Not the straight people who rejected you. I'm the straight lady who chose you. I can go to any church on this planet, and I came here, and I got ordained to serve here. That's a powerful witness. She probably saved lives.
I can't add to that. That was just a beautiful testimony to a wonderful person. And thank goodness that there are people like her out there and that there's still a place like Sunshine Cathedral where people can come and still feel that love. So kudos.
And that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, I invite you again to like and share this episode on your social media. And I also welcome you to find Sunshine Cathedral on Facebook or Instagram.
You can also like our bishop pages on Facebook. My page is Bishop Robert Griffin, D-Min, and Darrell's is Bishop Darrell Watkins, D-Min. We're also on TikTok. Remember to visit sunshinecathedral.org frequently. There you will find Bishop Talk, where Bishop Darrell and I interview queer religious leaders from around the world, activists and scholars. We've also had a weekly lectionary discussion that you can find on the website and on the other socials.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together, and also remember you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.